Ladies and gentlemen, today is December 12th, 2024. This is the Equinox episode 2. I'm Matt Siriani, joined alongside Carl Maglowski. Carl, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing A-okay, especially with everything that's happened with college football and beyond. And we got Ming Chen pushing the buttons. Ming, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Welcome back.
We are doing fantastic. So first off, our first episode was really, really good. A lot of people support us, but we can't have our second episode without the man who brought us all together. The man behind Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti, Mr. Sal Angioletti himself. Sal, how you doing?
What's going on, gentlemen?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good. We're doing good. So, Sal, we're usually on your show as your co-host, but now it's the opposite. You're just on our show now. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff. Go ahead.
I take nothing but large bills.
This is exclusively for Sal. But anyway, we have a lot of baseball to get into. The world was turned upside down in the sports world for many reasons. Juan Soto, Bill Belichick, the college football playoff, and then some. But we're going to start off with the man of the week, the $765 million man to be exact. Juan Soto signed a 15-year, $765 million contract with the New York Mets. And apparently, from what I understand, it could go up to as high as $805 million. So he just crushes Ohtani's contract from last year.
805. Okay.
It could go as high as 805. I don't know where I forget where the extra $40 million is coming from, but
the security for his family.
Backload pay.
Backload. That's what it is. Okay, so it's the backload. So 40 extra million, but it's really 765 is the magic number. It's no deferrals. That's the key word. No deferrals. Dodger fans, you might want to take notes on that. No deferrals.
No trade clause either?
No trade clause as well. So it's like Bryce Harper. It's like Aaron Judge. It's like Ohtani. It's like, well, Ohtani had deferrals. You know, the Dodgers had over $1 billion in deferrals going into this cycle. So they're just adding to that whole buy now, pay later stuff that they are going to try to afford over the next decade, paying Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, and now Blake Snell. But let's get to Juan Soto first. Carl, I think you said you wanted to unload on this. What's your take on this whole money grab?
So I was telling me and Ming were telling you guys last week that we said the Mets, we knew the Mets. We said it's better off that he does go with the Mets so the Yankees could do other things to make the team better in the long term, and I think they did so far with maybe more to do down the road.
Yeah.
But it was all about the green. He didn't want to – if it's all about winning, he would have stayed in the Bronx with Judge. It's all about the green. That's all he cares about. So he's greedy and selfish. That's my opinion on him. And by him going to the other team across in Queens, he's going to be basically a right fielder for the next 3 years or left field for 3 or 4 more years because his defense stinks. And then he's going to be just a DH.
Yeah.
So better off for you guys. And it's all about greed. And now the Mets ain't going to do squadouche. And let him rot in Queens because it's not going to make – he's not going to bring back now the polar bear, Alonso. So now you're going to have Vientos, Lindor, and now you have Soto. That's it. Clay Holmes ain't going to help them.
Yeah.
You already lost
we lost Verdugo.
No. They lost what's it called?
Severino to the richest contract in A's history.
Yep. So he's down with Vegas A's.
Yeah, they're gonna make Clay Holmes a starter.
So they do have Edwin Diaz, but last year he was starting to implode down the stretch. So it's better off. So he's just greedy, and it's gonna bite Uncle Steve in the balls. I'm sorry,
Sal. What do you think?
Carl predicted it, and I think Soto actually said it in the beginning of the year that somebody said Mets early than this.
Yeah,
and then Carl said Mets, and is it greed? Yes and no. I would say more on the lines, because the Yankees were going up 1 year and $5 million less, and he said in the press conference, nobody reached. He hasn't spoken to the Yankees since the World Series.
Yeah,
nobody reached out for him. I want a private suite for my family behind home plate. I want my own family security. So he prima donna, if you want to call it,
big time.
And we spoke about it after the World Series. No matter what team this man goes to, is going to put a stranglehold on the salary. And Pete Alonso quoted himself today, I want to play for the New York Yankees. So Pete Alonso might be Bronx bound playing first base. We hope so.
Yeah.
Max Fried is out of the NL, so the Philly fans don't have to boom anymore, Call.
Yep.
The Crochet move was a desperation move by the Red Sox right now. The organization hasn't done anything in quite a bit. But getting back to Soto, 15 years at one team, especially in Queens. Do we know things he does? Does his Uncle Stevie getting ready to pull triggers? I'm hearing Nolan Arenado in a deal with the Mets.
Yeah.
The Yankees looking to Planet Houston right now and getting Kyle Tucker and possibly trading your American League Rookie of the Year, Luis Gil.
I heard
in that deal. And we talked about it constantly. If Soto's not a Yankee, now the Yankees, are they better off? Yes and no. I felt that it left a lot of holes, and a lot of people on my page were calling me ridiculous. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why I have a show. So it's if you look at the big picture, I don't care about the money picture. Nobody's talking about money.
Right.
You had the protection.
Yes.
In the front and the back.
That's true.
You protected Judge with Soto, and then you had Giancarlo, who had a hell of a year.
Mm-hmm.
How would I word this? The Mets have a lot of work ahead of them.
They do.
They do.
Okay, you have Lindor and then Soto.
That's it.
Who's behind them?
There's no protection. There's no other protection.
Nobody.
Unless they pull the trigger on something. Now, the Met fans are excited. I'm happy for them. You know, you go for it. That's the biggest move the Mets have made
ever
in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Now, I did
$1.2 million a year for the next decade. Still.
Now, if anybody caught it, saw it. I did an emergency show after that all happened.
Yeah, I saw it when I saw it.
And I said, let's rewind a bit. And all the championships the Yankees won, and the building after a World Series, and the Mets made terrible moves with Mo Vaughn, Robbie Alomar, Jason Bay, and the list goes on. Just like Ming's Baltimore Orioles. The team is a great young team.
Yeah.
Are you in the midst of losing Santander out in right field? Burns, is he going to stay? So it's weird when a team, and we all know what the Marlins did after they won twice. They dismantled everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, now where do you go from here, Uncle Stevie? What's the next move? Okay, we got Soto. Is that it? Are we done?
That's pretty much it. Because you spend $765 million. That's pretty much it. But I want to give my take on this for a little bit of a second. It's a lot of money, and the Yankees pitched to keep Soto or for him to stay. It was on NJ.com. More money, more revenue, more attendance, easier path to the World Series because you got the Dodgers in your face if you're the Mets. And
I'm sorry to cut you off, Matt, and that's the thing. I didn't grab it, and you did. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the Yankees are the evil empire." No, they're not.
No, they're not.
The Yankees have not been the evil empire since they won 3 straight.
Yes.
And if you look at all the guys after the fact, sorry to cut you off, Matt.
It's fine.
Jason Giambi, Mike Mussina, and a host of other guys that came for a few cups of coffee in the Bronx. They've made it to the first round, second round, always were eliminated.
Yeah.
What the Yankees needed to focus on was that starting pitching, which they haven't had a good rotation after Tuesday night and Tanaka was gone. Mm-hmm. So after Tanaka and Severino and the other guy got in trouble, Domingo Germán, the Yankees were solid as a rotation then. And then after that, what happened? We just had Garrett Cole and who? Now you got a great 1-2 punch. So your hurdle Mets, you can get all the Juan Sotos. And I said to everybody, you could be undefeated at 162-0,
Yeah.
hit 100 home runs.
Mhm.
But if you do not produce in the playoffs, you're nothing.
You're nothing.
And-
Got a point.
Now I have a point. Now I don't know why they said the Yankees were the evil empire because
It's the Dodgers now. You want to get to the big dance, you got to get by LA, and that's
now they were the evil empire because they were winning World Series,
Mhm.
but they had your core, but they also had role players. The Dodgers are the evil empire now because they're just buying everybody.
They're just buying championships now.
The Yankees did not. They had
that's what they're basically doing. And the team, if you notice, after they won, they're rebuilding Dodger Stadium. If anybody saw the video on it, but it's the thing like we said. Who am I getting protection from? Like the Phillies, you got a great lineup. Everybody is protected. Now Alex Bowe might be getting traded, but you see how that team is established.
Yeah.
What the guy in the front and the guy in the back. If Soto needs that one guy, hey, say for the hell of it, they get Nolan Arenado. That's a dangerous lineup right there.
I'm not
convinced.
because
with those three guys, like you were talking about, like Jazz Chisholm. Where does Jazz go? Does he go to third? Do I put him back in the outfield?
I think there's still a whole bunch of things that need to come. I mean, the Yankees, the good thing, and I think Carl brought this up before he even went on the air.
Yeah.
You could only go as high as $760 million. That's like buying a Honda for 20 years and being able to afford paying 19 years for that Honda. But anyway,
right.
They saved $760 million and they invested $218 into Max Fried. Now you got like $542 left, basically. Because like I said, Hal Steinbrenner cannot go as high as $760 or go higher than $760. So what do you do with that $542 million? You could invest it in first base by paying Alonso. You can invest in the outfield. I heard Kyle Tucker's in a possible person to pick up. But if you're going to sign Kyle Tucker, you also got to pay him because you can't have another Juan Soto situation back-to-back years.
Right.
There's that. Then there's also the fact that you mentioned, the infield. Is Josh going to stay at third base? Are they going to change things up in the infield, first base? They got a lot on their mind, but you know what? They can invest in more positions now that they got the Juan Soto off their back.
Right.
Does it stink losing Juan Soto? Yes, it absolutely does. But you know what? It's better than hurting us financially. That's because that's what Steve Cohen does not.
Correct. Now, here's what makes no sense for
ahead,
Arenado for the Mets.
Yeah.
Yeah, Colorado was nothing. You got that big money from Colorado. You wasn't winning. So he's in the perfect spot with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Good run organization. Now he wants to lead the Cardinals. For what? He's declining. His glove's good, but his bat wasn't good the last couple of years.
No.
So he's going to come to the Mets and they're going to just throw off Mark Vientos.
That's I don't know. You know what? They surprised everybody last year. And good for them. Nobody had them picked. They came out of nowhere, got on a hot streak.
Yeah.
They basically wiped out the Phillies. They took care of the Braves. Now, everybody remind this. The Braves will be 100% healthy next year.
Yes.
They will be. So that NL East is going to be really, really good next year, you would think. It's a 3-team race. The Marlins are not that good. The Nationals are still trying to put something together. There's still a couple of free agents out there. Like I mentioned, a couple of free agents that signed. Blake Snell signed with the Dodgers. We had Teoscar Hernandez is still out there. O'Shea signed.
Evaldi went back.
Evaldi's back in Texas.
And then
correct.
Also
Yusei Kikuchi signed with the Angels.
Also the third baseman Bugger.
Yeah.
He went to Texas also.
That's true. So the Rangers are trying to pick things back up. There's still a couple, like I said, Teoscar Hernandez is actually the next interesting scenario because with him, he wants to stay in LA, but now the Boston Red Sox, after they lost out on Juan Soto, they're trying to make a push for him. Teoscar Hernandez, I think he's probably going to stay in LA, me personally, because he loved it there. He had a great year there. He's popular with the fan base, et cetera, et cetera. Rosie Sasaki,
he basically won the World Series for them.
Yeah, he won the World
Series.
Yeah, exactly. But like the thing with the Dodgers is the deferrals. Like how much more in deferrals can you have? You already have $1 billion in deferrals. So Teoscar Hernandez is an interesting name to watch. I think that, Luis Robert as well. I think no one wants to deal with the White Sox, unfortunately. So it's.
I feel bad for that organization who was always up there. You remember when Kevin was on with us, and he always said, "Who was to blame for that?"
Yeah.
Who did they hire as a manager? Tony La
Russa.
So the whole organization went to pot.
Yeah. Now, they also sorry to cut you guys off. They also said that Kyle Tucker may also be maybe for Detroit, for the Tigers.
Tigers are a possibility as well.
And also, right now, they're saying that Toronto might be trying to be in runnings for Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns' name is out there still, yes.
Yeah, and there has been talk with the Tigers who surprised that it. And here's the thing, folks. You're talking about $700-something million.
Yeah.
We couldn't even shit that out. Excuse my French.
No.
So think of all the teams in the last few years made the playoffs where their salary, their payroll was on 1 year of 50-something million of Juan Soto's. The Tigers, who swept the Houston Astros. How many times has the Tampa Bay Rays made it?
Yep.
How many times Arizona?
Yep.
And Texas.
Yep.
We don't need a lot of money to win.
No, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. And also a couple of honorable mention moves. Andres Jimenez is with the Toronto Blue Jays. We also have Willie Adames with the Giants.
Yep. They also said that Corbin Burns may be also linked to the Giants also.
The Giants are trying to do whatever they can to stay relevant at this point.
Right. Yes.
And the Dodgers, like I said, they got their pitcher in Blake Snell with also deferrals. But the Giants have been trying so hard to get a big money move since they missed out on Aaron Judge a couple years ago. They've been trying so bad. But
yeah, let's all not forget, folks. Aaron Judge was about 5 minutes away from being a San Francisco Giant.
It was close.
If Cashman doesn't make that call from Italy that late at night with the 6-hour difference when Sal called in, Aaron Judge wouldn't be here in New York. That's a different organization.
No.
So let's get back to Soto for a second. This is your fourth team. Okay, you won your World Series with the Nationals. You were on the same team. You were on the same team as Bryce Harper and Anthony Rendon, who didn't pan out when he was with the Angels. Who knows what happened with that guy?
Mm-hmm.
And you had Strasburg and this guy and that guy. And the Nationals, I don't get these teams. If you won something, like another Marlins episode, you got rid of everybody. You imploded the whole team. So it's mind-boggling. Was he in it for the money? Do we know something he doesn't know, that the Mets are doing whatever or did something already where he says, okay, I got a chance to win, I think, in Queens. They just made this guy come over and this guy's coming over, It's almost like, and Carl could almost agree, like the Phillies, what's his name's got all his friends there.
Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Right? So are they getting all this guy's friends to come over and help? What are we doing here? But not for nothing. It was a good move by the Mets. Congratulations, like I said. Out of that 15 years, and somebody, when I walked into Wawa before I went to work in Atlantic City this morning.
Yeah.
And they were talking about Juan Soto. I says, if they don't win anything within the next 5 years, what kind of deal did you just make?
A dumb deal.
And now you can't get rid of him.
Nope.
They say scared money don't make money, but dumb money doesn't win anything.
Nope.
So
exactly.
One thing I also want to point out, I mentioned the $765 million. Obviously, it's the richest contract in sports history, but I gotta give you guys some facts about how big this contract is. Tom Brady and LeBron James, who together have 45 years of professional sports under their belt, their total combined salary as professional athletes is $761 million. So Juan Soto's making $4 million more than 45 years of greatness and 15 years of unproven money. There's that. About 8 or 9 guys from the Brewers have $738.5 million combined. Juan Soto $765. Also, the 7 top players in the NHL make not even a don't even scratch the surface of Juan Soto. Like seriously, like $765 million. Like Tom Brady with Fox is probably not going to equate to that much money. Like it's just ridiculous how much Steve Cohen is investing in this, thinking that it would work.
If everybody saw my post, I had posted all the big contracts that were given, and it's sad to see this guy, what he's going through, and that's Mike Trout. Mike Trout at the time was the highest back when he signed.
Yeah.
I think it was Trout, Hopper, then Ohtani,
And now Soto.
And now Soto. So Ohtani, what could you say about the guy? There's really nothing you could say.
First year with the Dodgers, he wins a World Series, and then second year with the Dodgers, he's going to be back on the mound and hitting. So
far they said he may not be ready to pitch during when the season opens yet.
On opening day, but that's fine. I mean,
right.
You still have plenty of time to get him back on the mound.
Mike Trout, we know what happened to the poor guy.
Fall.
You tried to build around him with Ohtani, and you got Rendon, and we all know what happened there. Ohtani did the right thing and walked because he knew he wasn't going to win there. So that's a smart decision. Okay. Bryce Harper almost became a New York Yankee before he became a Philly. He didn't want to come to the Bronx because probably the no beard kind of thing. He chose Philadelphia. And could you imagine if the Yankees did sign him with the short porch in right field, how many home runs that guy would have probably hit?
Exactly.
Probably played ping pong with the 4 train out in the outfield.
Exactly.
So that deal, the Phillies, then Ohtani. And if you look at the combinations of trades, Alex Rodriguez, another big contract.
On the money he did, yes.
John Carlo.
Yeah. True.
Mark Teixeira.
Mm-hmm.
And look at all and Mark finally won it with the Yankees in 2009, and he, I think, left not too long, a year or two after that.
Yeah, he didn't live out too long after that.
So, like I said, if you look at the deals that were made, now the key word is what, guys? You got to stay.
What if?
You got to stay healthy.
Yep.
Now, I digress on the whole Juan Soto thing. I mean, literally, it's a bunch of money, but we gotta see how the first season goes as a first impression. We'll see how it goes, but we gotta transition over. Go ahead.
Hold on. I have. I'll just get Ming's comment on the whole thing, and also about his Baltimore Orioles, about what they need to do, and also should MLB have a cap?
Yeah,
I think so.
Got to hear this from Ming.
All right, where do you want to start?
I say. I say.
Let's the cap.
I say yes.
The cap.
Yeah,
yes.
Otherwise, you have the Dodgers.
No stupid money, man. You can't.
No dumb money.
Everybody, and listen. Percentage wise, you sign good players, you're going to start winning. You're going to win. You're going to win.
Yeah.
It needs cap. Yes.
There needs to be a cap. Now, what do you think happens with the Orioles and Corbin Burns?
He wants to go to the West Coast. I'd say he probably signs with the Giants. He wants 8 years, $300 million. Baltimore doesn't do deals like that. There's still a small market team.
Yeah, that's true.
They've gotten burned before in long-term contracts.
Yep.
I don't see them. I would love him. He's a great pitcher. Did a great job last year.
Mm.
Did everything he had to. But
it was time.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of guaranteed money.
Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
You guys made the playoffs 2 years in a row.
Yes.
You don't want to fall back. You want to stay relevant.
You want to stay relevant, yeah.
Because you're packing Camden Yards.
The window's open now.
Yeah.
Players are good. However, if you look at the wild card series this year, their problem was offense.
Yeah, they couldn't hit.
Pitching was great. Pitching was fine.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't score. Score 1 run.
Yeah.
In the whole series.
Home runs. That's it. You can't score with home runs.
Yeah.
No,
I say, yeah. I mean, I don't know if they sent anyone big. They may trade. They may make a trade later on. However, the Burns deal didn't go down until February last year, so there's time. There is time.
Do you think you keep Santander?
No, that's not happening. No.
He's gone.
He's gone. They sent that dude from the Red Sox to replace him. And who kills left-handed pitching, and he hit really good in Camden Yards. So
now, what if the Yankees
yeah,
go
no.
for Santander.
Yeah, I think that's more
Santander,
like-
I heard he's
instead
on the Yankees radar. Yeah.
Instead of Tucker,
I
give
think that's
Santander a lesser deal.
See,
and
well,
money.
see, here's the thing. Tucker is going to ask for a lot of money if he does get
And
signed by the Yankees.
I think he's a Boris guy too, isn't he?
He is a Boris client. That's correct.
yeah. No,
Bob Boris is a pain in the neck to deal with.
Yeah. Now I feel that Santander probably had a career year this year, is not going to repeat the 40+ home runs. That's in my opinion.
But the Yankees, the thing with the Yankees is they need to sign more outfielders because they got 4 right now. They got Judge, Dominguez, Grisham, who's probably not going to play a lot, and then Cabrera, because you can convert Cabrera to whatever you want him to do. And he has played outfield in the past. So the Yankees need some depth in the outfield.
Mhm.
And I've talked to my uncle, who's a diehard Yankee fan. He said that he trusts Dominguez's defense because going through the surgery and missing a lot of time did not give him preparation to prepare. Yes, Dominguez had a lot of mistakes in the outfield, but if with preparation and some time, he could be good. Plus, he mashed in the minors, so I guess that's probably why.
So now with what you guys did with, so now you have Coltrane,
Yeah.
Fried. Then you could probably do Rondon,
Rodon, yeah,
Schmidt,
and
and then you could have
Gil, and then there's more tests for their 6
You don't
starters.
even have to worry about Gil, save you Trey Gil, but then you have your the guy who I didn't think you should trade any for the last offseason. Who didn't pitch in what's to call it? He's crazy.
Oh, you're telling.
He's talking about Marcus Stroman.
Stroman.
Oh yeah, Stroman. Oh
Fred.
gosh, Stroman.
No, it's funny he mentioned his name because the Yankees are talking about trading him.
He should. He's a nutcase.
The guy, it was like a battle every time he went on the mound. Every pitch was anxiety.
So when he's on, he's on.
When
There's
he's on,
no
he's
doubt
on.
about
When
it,
he sucks.
But if you trade Stroman, then Gil could be your 5th guy.
Yeah,
But
that's
good.
The thing with the Yankees is they got 7 starters now with the signing of Max Fried. 7. You need to get rid of it. 2 of them. 2. Because I think Cody Poteet's a guy that you hold on to as a long distance reliever or even a long or short distance starter because they brought Cody Poteet in specifically for when Clark Schmidt went.
Well,
down.
I think Nasty Nestor's probably out.
Yeah, I think the Nestor honeymoon phase is gone. Especially.
What do you
after
think,
happened in
Sal? You
game
think
1.
he's gone?
Yeah. I was a little upset with Clay Holmes. I mean, the Mets also signed another former Yankee pitcher as well.
They did.
Who's that?
Oh, I can't think of his name. I saw it. Oh,
It'll come to mind. It'll come to mind soon. We got
a right-handed pitcher. I can't think of his name.
Well, it'll come to mind again. But we gotta get to NCAA. We had a good amount of the Juan Soto stuff.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me on.
No problem, Sal.
No problem, bud.
Take care. Well, I'm going to Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti on mostly every Wednesday whenever Sal is available. I don't know when the next show is, Sal, but Sal, can you give us a little bit of an insight of what you're thinking?
Yes, we're going to wait till after the holiday. We're going to have Sal from Italy back on one show. We're going to talk about everything that went down in spring training. Spring training. Look at me. I'm already next season with the winter meetings. And where do we think everybody else is going to fit? Who knows? Even though the winter meetings are over, there's going to be a lot of trades going on. And then we'll give our surprise picks for the next season. And then we'll talk about the last few weeks in the NFL season.
Sounds great. All right, Sal Angioletti, thank you so much, buddy.
Man, thank you, buddy.
Take care. All right. What a great guy. What a great guy. Sal is the guy who brought us together. But now we got to get to the NCAA. I was going to start off with the college football playoff, but we had a massive, massive news break yesterday. Bill Belichick, 6-time Super Bowl champion with the Patriots, is headed to college. He's going back to school, coaching the North Carolina Tar Heels, and already met with a lot of buzz and a lot of hype in North Carolina. Carl, what do you think about this?
Well, with him going to North Carolina, is telling me that he probably wasn't going to get an NFL job this coming off season.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably too old in most GM's eyes, and he doesn't want to give them full power. So he already got he
got like a 5-6 year
contract. So right now it's a 5-year deal.
Yeah,
$10 million per year.
That's not bad.
He also gets he's bringing back Michael Lombardi as his GM for the Tar Heels. He's also bringing back his son,
Steve Belichick.
Steve Belichick
Former
to run
Rutgers alum.
you have to run the defense.
Yep.
It's going to be a good sell because North Carolina has the money for the NIL and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're going to sell. I was watching Speak before I drove down here.
Yeah, his press conference today.
So I was watching Speak and they were talking. Keyshawn was saying, and is he going to go in a single parent's house with the mom and grandmother saying, I want your son and grandson to come to North Carolina. If it's a 2-parent household and the dad knows of Bill Belichick, he's going to get you right to the pros.
See,
now for the single parent, where it's just the mom or the grandmother running the house,
that's
the household.
hard.
What are you going to do so my son gets or grandson gets a good education?
Like, what can you do to convince my child
that North Carolina is the best school to go so he could graduate in 4 years and get a degree, not worry about football? That's the thing. He's can't practice too much because they have class. They have, you know what I'm saying? It's totally different.
Yeah, academics is important too.
If he brings the people that he can bring, where he doesn't only have to worry about the coaching on the field, he'll be fine. He'll get the players because
recruiting is going to be.
The one thing is he coached Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a big tell.
Listen, his credentials speak for itself.
Yes.
But he has to recruit on his own. He can't recruit, like usually with the NFL, and this is the difference between the NFL and the NCAA. NCAA, you're dealing with parents. In the NFL, you're dealing with professional athletes.
He could make the phone calls, but he could send his son there to visit, and then he could just make a phone call and talk to the parent on the phone.
Yeah.
So, or he could do Zoom, or Skype. So there's a lot of things he could do where you still talk to the parent, but don't do the travel with the full recruiting. Is like 24. It's like 365, 365.
24/7, 365. But the thing with Belichick is, like, when he was with the NFL and he was scouting, he would have scouts with him.
Yes.
He had a general manager to help him. And there were times where he was even the GM. So Belichick's got a lot on his plate. And for someone at 70, I think 72,
72.
72, my goodness. But if anything tells, like, you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with athletic directors, not general managers. You're dealing with parents and alums, not fans. You have to recruit on your own. The salary is less. And actually, the thing with Belichick, and I think this is why Nick Saban stayed at college for as long as he has, the media is in your control in college. In the NFL, you got so much press coming at you whenever things go wrong, and it's a lot to deal with. Belichick can control the narrative himself now. That's why Nick Saban left the Miami Dolphins when he did, because he could not handle the pressure of coaching an NFL franchise and the media that came with it.
Right.
So that's my thing. But I think another problem too with Belichick is, like, does he have the energy inside him? Can he still compete at a high level at North Carolina? And the thing with him too, the ACC is not a great conference.
No.
It's not a great conference. No. So that's like something served to him on a silver spoon. He's got a not so good conference, but he needs to recruit. He's got to persuade parents. He's got to convince alum. He's got to, make his presence known at events. Belichick is kind of a guy that wouldn't really show up to support players or events. He's kind of just like to himself.
So next year, next year when the season starts, he doesn't have to worry about Cam Ward. He's graduating. He's going to the pros.
Yeah.
Let's see. So he's gone. What's it called?
Well, Drake May is not coming.
Not Drake May. Colin McCord.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
He can't come back to Syracuse. He's gone.
Yeah.
Maybe you have Cade Klubnik out of Clemson.
Yeah.
You have Kevin Jennings at SMU, maybe.
He can persuade a lot of the North Carolina kids, but I'm talking across the country.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing with the NFL. The NFL, you know the biggest colleges. There's only 130 colleges across the country that people pay attention to, all Power 4 or all Division I conferences. But with the responsibility of being a collegiate coach, you got to recruit across 50 states. That's a big responsibility.
Now, next year, he'll probably win 8 games, but if they make the expansion from 12 to 16, by year 2 or year 3, he'll be in the running for the playoff.
Yeah, I think winning the ACC is not going to be much of a problem after like 1 to 2 years, Because the ACC, like I said, Clemson won the ACC with 3 losses, and they were a horrible team this year.
Yeah, they were. They got lucky. SMU had a bad first half,
And they bounced back.
I don't see them beating Texas next week.
Yeah.
But who knows?
So we mentioned the playoff. Let's get to that. The college football playoff has been announced. The first 12-team format.
Yes.
I'm going to go over seeds 1 through 12. Number 1 was Oregon. Number 2 was Georgia. Number 3 was Boise State.
Yes.
Number 4 was Arizona State. Picked to
Yes.
finish last in the Big 12. And look at them. They got a bye in the CFP.
Yes.
5 was Texas. 6 was Penn State.
Yes.
7 was
Notre Dame.
8 was Ohio State. 9 is Tennessee. They're playing Ohio State.
Yes.
10 was Indiana. They're playing Notre Dame.
Yes.
So it's the battle of Indiana right there.
Yes.
11 was SMU. They left Alabama out.
Yeah.
And then 12 was Clemson, the ACC champion.
Yes.
So
yeah.
you have 2 ACC teams in the field. You got the Mountain West having a bye in the quarterfinals.
Yes.
Alabama left out, even though SMU lost the conference championship.
Yep. And you have 4 Big Ten. 4
Big Ten teams, 3 SEC teams, 2 ACC teams, a Mountain West, an independent, and then there was one other one. Oh, hold on a second.
No, yeah, one Pac-12.
Well, they're technically Big Ten.
Sorry, back Arizona. No, sorry,
Arizona State's a Big 12.
Big 12. Big 12.
Yeah, there we go.
Big 12, Mountain West.
Yeah, Big 12.
4 Big 10.
4 Big 10, 3 SEC, and 2 ACC.
Yeah, and Notre Dame was independent.
That's a pretty good mix. And honestly, the SEC got more teams than they were supposed to this year. I thought if they put in Alabama, it would have been a massive.
No, Alabama deserved to get in because they lost to.
Next time, don't lose to Oklahoma by 21.
No, they don't. They deserve to get in. No.
Yeah, and I love the fact that on social media, Alabama fans are saying, "Oh, we didn't deserve it." Meanwhile, ESPN's complaining, "Oh, why did they not get in?" But my thing is, like, I can't stand Alabama bias. I really can't. I know Nick Saban's not the coach there anymore, but Caitlin DeBoer wasn't too good. And like I said, they lost to Vanderbilt as well. They basically just dug their own grave, and they deserve what they got. But now they're talking about expansion to 14 teams as soon as this happened.
Man, can you bring us up the college football bracket, please?
Yeah, we're going to make our bracket predictions now, knowing the field. And, Ming, while you're doing this, do you think the committee got it right?
Let me look at the bracket. Let's look at the bracket here.
We could do the first round and the quarterfinals.
Yeah, we'll do first round.
Because when we come back, we could go over the quarterfinals.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. All right. Now, also keep in mind the first round playoff games for the NCAA. You're going to get a home playoff game.
Yes.
The quarterfinals and beyond are bowl games.
Yes.
Which I think is kind of interesting.
Yes.
All right. So that's the bracket for you. I don't want to listen to NCAA experts because that'd be copyright. Here's the bracket.
All right.
Let's pick our wild card round. First up, we got Tennessee, Ohio State. Winner plays Oregon.
I'm going with Tennessee because just the way how Ohio State didn't look too good against Michigan. Tennessee has a good ground game. The running back is good. If their quarterback cannot turn over the ball, Tennessee will win. That's their problem. They played Georgia and
they played Alabama, but Bama won.
They lost to Georgia, and who else did they lose to?
They lost to somebody. They lost to Arkansas.
He had a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
So they hold on to the ball. They have a good D line like Michigan, and they run the ball. If they don't turn it over, I have Tennessee upsetting Ohio State.
I think I'm going to agree with you on that one. I think Ohio State's going to get a lot of malpractice from fans because of the way they lost to Michigan, and they really shouldn't even be in this position. But hey, listen, they got in. They were going to get in no matter what. But I think coming off the Michigan loss, they're probably going to feel the after effects and a little bit of booze from the fans. I think Tennessee's a really well-rounded program. I think Will Howard's going to have the game of his life to win this one. And even if they win, they're going to play against Oregon, and I don't really see them winning that. They lost by a point last time to Oregon. But I think Tennessee takes it as well. Next up, we got Clemson, Texas in the wild card round. Winner plays Arizona State.
I'm not going to pick the I think Clemson will cover.
Okay.
I don't know what the spread is right now. I don't know. It's too early. I don't.
It's probably too early to look at spreads.
I'm not in love with Quinn Ewers, but
You don't like him?
I don't like him.
Hmm.
Texas didn't play nobody all year. When they Texas didn't play nobody
Their
all
two
year.
losses came to one program.
Georgia.
Yeah. That's
They didn't play nobody else. They didn't play Ole Miss. They didn't play Alabama.
That's true.
They
didn't play Tennessee.
They didn't play Tennessee. So they had the bottom barrel of the SEC.
And some people could say the same with Indiana, but look at
You know
them.
what I'm saying? So at least Clemson played more competitive team in the ACC.
And they did play South Carolina.
They did. So just because Texas is at home, I may pick them. I'm not in love with them. I will probably go with Texas, but I won't be shocked if Clemson wins, but I'll go with the Longhorns.
Okay. I'm going to go with Clemson on this one. I think that even though Texas's only losses came to Georgia, Clemson is a conference champion for a reason. Dabo Swinney is really good in big-time situations. We've seen it in the past. Yeah. He hasn't utilized the transfer portal as much as many great coaches would like, but I think he can get by this one.
Now, I do have make a comment. Now, if they're struggling, say in the first half, whatever, Texas, I won't be surprised if they bench Quinn Ewers and put in Arch Manning to finish the game.
There's always the threat of Arch Manning. Next up, we got the Battle of Indiana. Notre Dame in Indiana. Winner plays Georgia.
Go Irish, at least by 10 points.
I'm taking the Irish as well, especially because I want to give a shout out to my Uncle James. He went to Notre Dame. His roommate was actually Jerome Bettis. They were roommates, yeah.
Nice.
Indiana was not really battle tested. They played at Ohio State and they got blown out. Yes. I don't really have faith in Indiana. So I'm going to go with the Fighting Irish. And next we got SMU Penn State in Happy Valley. Winner plays Boise State.
I'm going with Penn State because of the weather. It's going to be a whiteout that day. James Franklin wants to write a whiteout game, so it's going to be an early kick, noon kick. It's going to be cold, but you don't know if it's going to be snowing.
It's true. Pennsylvania.
It's going to SMU had struggled with that last week. So I have Penn State advancing.
I'm going to pick Penn State as well. I think that SMU showed courageous effort in the ACC championship game. And when they were down 17 on 2 occasions in the ACC championship game, but you're going to a whiteout. You're playing a really tough Penn State team. I know Penn State lost the Big Ten championship game by an 8-point margin, but I think James Franklin is going to prepare his team very well, and the SMU is not capable of facing a team like this.
No.
All right, so next up we got Tennessee, Oregon. We basically picked Tennessee. So Tennessee, Oregon. Who do you got advancing in the semis?
I got Oregon. Winning. It's going to be at the Rose Bowl. Oregon's fast, man. Oregon's fast. If they don't turn the ball over, I don't see no one stopping them. Penn State couldn't stop them. They scored 45 points on them last week. I'm going with the Ducks.
Okay. I'm going with the Ducks as well. I think that they're really, really, really battle tested. This is the team that, with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, they've been very consistent all season long. And I think that will continue against the Tennessee team that is not a world beater. If they were playing Ohio State, then I could see a possible closer game than many people think. But I don't think Ohio State advances past Tennessee. So I'm going with the Oregon Ducks in this case. Next up, we got Arizona State versus either Texas or Clemson. We're split on this one. So in that scenario, who would advance?
I'm going with the Sun Devils.
I'm very, very proud of this Sun Devils program. They were supposed to finish bottom of the barrel in the Big 12, and they proved a lot of people wrong. And I think no matter who comes out, I have Clemson, you have Texas. I think no matter what happens, I think Cam Scatabo is going to run all over.
Because last week when we were making our picks, I said Arizona State. You were going with the Cyclones, and then it was not even a game.
It wasn't. No,
they blew them out.
Arizona State blew them out of the water. I think Cam Scatabo, is going to have a field day no matter who they play. So I'm going with the Sun Devils as well. Notre Dame, Georgia.
I don't know what the injury is for Carson Beck with his arm. I don't know if he'll be healed and if it's a major injury or a minor injury. If Notre Dame does get by Indiana, they have the offense to run the ball on Georgia, and they have the defense to get at the quarterback. So if they get by Indiana, I have the Irish advancing and beating Georgia because I don't know how healthy Carson Beck's going to be.
I agree with you on that one. I think it all depends on the health of Carson Beck. If Carson Beck doesn't play, which is a big question mark, I think this is why Georgia's lucky they got the bye, because if they didn't get the bye, they'd be in massive trouble.
Right. And also their backup quarterback who led the second half comeback, he was on the overtime touchdown drive. He got a 1st and goal, and then he got his helmet knocked off, and then he was out. So you don't know if he's okay, he may have a concussion. Don't know.
George is in a little bit of a pickle right now. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame as well. Next up, we got Ashton Ginty and the Boise State Broncos taking on Penn State.
I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Ashton Ginty and Boise State. I'm going with the Broncos because they're just no one's giving him a chance. He's ran almost 2,500 yards. He should be.
He might break Barry Sanders'
He should
record.
be in New York for the Heisman.
He's going to be.
He is?
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to win. He should win it, but they may give it to Travis Hunter or Cam Ward, and I don't think that's right. He 2,500 yards before play up for the postseason.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get that. I think you know what I'm saying, but most likely they're going to give it to Cam Ward or. I was saying giving it to Cam Ward because he set up all these numbers, but I don't see why Travis Hunter.
Well, I can see them giving it to Travis Hunter because he's a dual threat player. He plays defense, he plays secondary, he plays DB, and he plays receiver. But Ashton Ginty, you can't go wrong with nearly 2,500 yards on the ground in 12 games. And he's going to break Barry Sanders' rushing record if he gets, I think, 100.
I thought he did already.
No, so the record for Barry Sanders was 2,628 yards, or 2,688 in 11 games. Keep that in mind. That's how amazing Barry Sanders is. Ashton Genty's like 130 or 140 yards behind that record.
Oh, he'll get that in a playoff game.
Yeah, he'll get that in the playoff game. But as far as this matchup is concerned, I think Boise State advances. And we'll get to the semifinals and the championship on our next show. But you mentioned the Heisman. We talked about our Heisman winners. I have Ashton Ginty winning it. I can see them giving it to Travis Hunter, but I don't want them to. But now we got the NFL. Actually, before we get to the NFL, previously on the Equinox, Carl had the Packers winning. I had the Lions winning. We didn't go based on spread, and Carl was wrong. I texted Carl after the game was over on Thursday Night Football. I said, get your vocal cords ready. So, courtesy of wheelofnames.com, we got this big wheel here with 25 songs and a few passes and a few spin agains. So what's going to happen is we agree, Carl, since he lost, he has to sing karaoke this evening. And the winner and the song that it lands on is what Carl's going to sing at Chubby Pickle. Yep. And if anyone wants to say something about this.
Oh, nothing. Just let me know when you hit the wheel.
Okay, so here's another rule as well. If it lands on spin again 3 times, so there's a way Carl's going to get out of this. If it lands on pass, or if it lands on spin again 3 times. If it lands on spin again 3 times, we're not spinning a 4th time. So, if you look at some of the songs on there, Ming, what song catches your eye of all the songs on there? There's like 25 of them.
I mean, you put some unique ones on here. I know a lot of these Carl knows. There are a few. He was like, "What the hell is that song?"
Yes, Nick. What the hell is that?
Pink Pony Club.
Pink Pony Club.
That's Chapel Roan. Is that correct?
That's correct.
See, I'm too old for a lot of these. What else? What else on here? Yeah, Barbie Girl. You're making him sing Barbie Girl. What else is there? Espresso. Not familiar with that one.
It's Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, I know. She's too new. I know who she is. Don't know any of her songs. And there was one more.
Had to throw a couple of new ones on there, you know. Yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody on there.
Yeah, there's some classics on here, but yeah, there's some I was like, oh,
okay. So
just let me know when to hit the wheel.
Spin right now. We got.
Ooh,
spin again. Spin again. Okay, so we get a little plus. All right, spin again now.
Ooh.
Oh, All right, 1985.
Long
That's one
pursuit.
we've heard Carl sing on Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But this is gonna be no exception. All right, so 1985, ladies
Okay,
and gentlemen.
Good one.
Yes.
It's a good one. Okay, but now back to our NFL picks. All right. We got the following. We're going based on spreads this time. And Carl said to me before the show, we're split again on Thursday Night Football. We got the Rams and the Niners are a 2.5-point favorite. They're in Santa Clara. I'm going with the Rams. I think that they have a lot of momentum. I know the Niners beat up on the Bears, but you're beat up on the Bears. Why are you going with the 49ers, Carl?
Because I don't want the Rams to make the playoffs. They're a scary team if they make the playoffs. So I want the Niners to just eliminate them. Don't even, no.
Okay. Next up on the spread list, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Cleveland Browns, and it's the Chiefs -4.
They were lucky last week to beat the Chargers. Doink hit the left upright, and then it goes right in.
Can't make this up. You can't make this up.
So there's a week that it's not going to go, and I won't be shocked that this is the week. Give me Cleveland in the points.
Ooh. Jameis Winston. I'm going with the Chiefs in this scenario. I know I hate the Chiefs and I don't want to see them get the number 1 seed, but Buffalo shot themselves in the foot. But now the Chiefs just have to win games, even by the slimmest of margins, to get the 1 seed. So I'm going with the Chiefs in this one. I'm going with the -4. Next up, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, who kept their season alive against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Bengals -5.
Bengals.
I'm going with the Bengals as well. Next up, oh my God. Ravens at Giants. Ravens are a 16-point favorite.
16 points.
16-point favorite. At the Meadowlands.
Yeah, it's 16-point favorite.
Jeez Louise.
Last week they lost 10-7, right?
Well, no, the Giants lost 14-11.
Oh, 14-11.
And they lost on a blocked field goal.
Block field goal. They don't even know who's starting this week for
Yeah, well, apparently Drew Lock's in a walking boot. Horrible.
Ravens. Ravens will cover.
Ravens will win by 30.
Oh, we're going Ravens.
Ravens will win by 30.
Ravens.
Next up, we got the Commanders at the Saints. Commanders -7.5.
Oh man.
Saints are 3-1 since they made a coaching change.
Derek Carr has no clue if he's starting this week. If he's playing. Give me the Commanders.
I'm taking the Commanders as well. Next up, we got the overrated Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are a 3-point favorite.
Then that's telling you something. Give me the Panthers.
They almost beat your team.
They did.
They almost did. And Bryce Young is playing really well. You know what? Give me Carolina. I'm taking them. Next up, we got a battle between 2, 3, and 10 teams. The Jets and the Jaguars. Jets 3.5-point favorites.
Jets 3.5-point favorites?
Yeah.
This is a game the Jets should win, but I think they'll lose. I think Jacksonville wins. They're both bad.
They're both terrible. I'm taking the Jaguars. This is a Jets game to lose. Next up, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Houston Texans. It's Texans -3.
Texans.
Yeah, Texans as well. Next up, this was a kind of important game, depending on how things shake up for the rest of the season. We got the Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos. Broncos -4.
I'm going with Denver.
I'm going with the Broncos as well, especially because it's a mile high. Next up, we got a game that's definitely an over game. We got the Buffalo Bills at the Detroit Lions, and it's the Lions -2.5.
Lions 2.5?
Yeah. Lions are playing with a lot of second-string defensive players. They were lucky to get by Green Bay. They earned that one.
Well, as bad as Buffalo's defense was last week against the Rams, I think they show up this week and they beat Detroit.
You know what? I think as a wake-up call, I think the Lions lose this one. I love the Lions and what they've been able to do, but they got to get their guys healthy, and I think this is going to be a wake-up call to tidy things up for the next 3 weeks.
Because if Buffalo loses more and Pittsburgh keeps on winning, Buffalo could lose the 2 seed.
That's right. Speaking of Pittsburgh, we got the Battle of Pennsylvania. The Pittsburgh Steelers at the Philadelphia Eagles. It's in Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles -5.
Eagles -5. Oh man,
It's the Saquon Barkley show.
I know.
AJ Brown's also pissed.
I know he is. And that's what's worrying me because they were saying they might just force feed him the ball so he stop complaining. And this is one that they could lose. I'm not picking the Steelers to win, but I like the Steelers to cover.
You like the Steelers +5, but you don't think they win outright?
No, I think the Eagles might win by a field goal. This game doesn't matter that much for the Eagles. Next week when they play Washington matters.
Yeah, they're firmly in the 2 seed right now.
So next week, if Washington wins, division's next week.
Yes,
against the Washington, and I think that game may be flexed to maybe from 1 o'clock to maybe 4:25 or 8 o'clock next week.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got the New England Patriots. I got the Eagles to win, by the way. I think they cover -5. We got the Patriots at the Cardinals. Cardinals -6.
Cardinals.
Arizona as well. Next up, we got, and these are 4:25 games, by the way. We got the Buccaneers at the Chargers. The Chargers -3.
Chargers should have won last week.
They should have. They got screwed.
They had Kansas City on the ropes. Their defense is good. Still no word on Bucky Irving if he's gonna play. He's still questionable. So that means more for Rashad White. Home game, bad way to lose last week. Chargers need a game. They both need a game.
Yeah,
but Atlanta stinks so bad that they're going to win the division anyway. The Bucs. I think if they don't win, they're going to fall out of playoff picture in the AFC. I'm going with the Chargers at home. They need it more.
I agree. The Chargers need it more. If the Buccaneers lose this game and Atlanta wins their game, which we're going to get into in a little bit, then things get interesting. But I'm going with the Chargers as well. Next up on primetime football Sunday night, we got the Packers at the Seahawks at Lumen Field. They should stick it to Quest Field.
Yes.
Packers at Seahawks. Packers -2.5 in loud Seattle.
In Seattle, and
the Packers are a favorite.
If the Packers do what they did last week, run the ball with Brandon with
Josh Jacobs is a workhorse.
Josh Jacobs. I was saying Brandon Jacobs. I'm going by the Giants. Josh Jacobs, and then I think they're going to get Romeo Dobbs back.
They should, yes.
So I'm going with the Packers in the upset. I'm going with the Packers to beat them in Seattle.
As Jets fans, I'm not a Jet fan, but Jet fans are probably not nourishing in the fact that Geno Smith is doing really well right now. Seattle is a loud environment to go to, especially when the Seattle Seahawks are a competitive team. I don't like the division that they're in. The division is terrible, but I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to upset spread-wise. Next up, we got this is a terrible game. The Chicago Bears at the Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings -7.
Now, there's 2 games on Monday night, right?
Yeah, doubleheader.
Now, one's on ESPN, one's on ABC.
Yeah, this one's on ABC.
It doesn't matter for seeding. It actually does.
It kind of does because actually
Minnesota still has to.
They could still win the 1 seed, believe it or not. They could still win the 1 seed.
Yes, so
they have something to fight for.
I don't know where Sam Darnold will be next year, but I got the Vikings. I like the Vikings because he played good last week. So I got the Vikings. Sam
Darnold threw 5 touchdown passes. Let that sink in for a second. Against the Falcons. Sam Darnold has been playing really well. He was grateful to be with the Jets, and I'm glad that he's, they took it on the chin with Adam Gase and everything. But I'm happy to see him thriving with the Vikings. I don't know where he's going to be next year, but I think that they're so keen on getting JJ McCarthy reps that I think Sam Darnold's going to get lost in the shuffle. I think this is just a really early prediction. I think Sam Darnold's going to get a contract with the Raiders.
Next year?
I think so. I think if the Raiders don't draft a quarterback, they're going to sign him because the Raiders have a thing with signing veteran players. They love signing veteran players for whatever reason.
How many games? The Raiders 2-10?
They're 2-10. They're terrible. They are tied with the Giants for worst record in football.
All right.
Next, speaking of the Raiders, we got the Raiders at the Falcons, and it's the Falcons -4.
Kirk Cousins played good last week and they still lost.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Raiders.
Why?
I don't trust. I just don't. Something with Kirk Cousins. I don't know. With Atlanta, they said Michael Penix isn't ready yet to play.
Yeah, they're contemplating putting in their rookie QB.
Well, he's not. They're saying he's not even close to being ready.
Yeah, so the Falcons are in a pickle, so they got to stick with Kirk Cousins no matter what. But you know what? You got to stick with Kirk Cousins because guess what you did? You gave him $180 million in guaranteed money.
Yeah. So what you're gonna do? So what's gonna happen is next year he'll be the starter. Next year he'll be the starter.
Yeah.
And then if he stinks, they'll put Penix in, and then after that year, after next season, they'll just cut him.
Think about that. All that guaranteed money that you're giving Kirk Cousins, and you're already thinking about getting rid of him. All right. I'm going with the Falcons. So, as you all know, as far as the karaoke thing is concerned, obviously, for those of you who don't know, 1985 is the song that Carl will be singing. And on top of that, all right, so here's what we're going to do. For Carl's privacy and for a sense of professionalism, Carl singing karaoke will not be on this program. It will not be on this program for Carl's professionalism and for my professionalism. It'll be in the chat with Sal. Sal will get to see it. Ming will even get to see it since he spent the wheel. And that is all we have. But obviously, before we even go, thoughtful message. Please respect your elders, ladies and gentlemen. If you know somebody who's 60 years of age or older, please treat them because, like SpongeBob SquarePants said, old people are the greatest. They are full of wisdom and experience, and every old person in this country, 60 years or older, or even close to that age range, should be treated with respect and dignity. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.